Welcome back. This is Sandy with Sandy's Organized Chaos, and it's vlog day. So happy to see every single one of you. We are still working away on the stuff in here, as you can see. But man, it is so hot here, and it sounds like it's about to start storming again, because when you live in Florida, it rains every single day in the summertime. But with the heat index and all that, it's about 110, if not more. Last weekend, we did... what did we do? The plaid? Yes, we did the plaid. So I did like a coral white plaid, and I don't know where I'm going with it. I talked to you guys about this, but you said it reminds you of like floral picnic. It kind of reminded me of all that too. And at first I was gonna do watermelons, and then I was like, no, we're gonna do flamingos, which I mean, either way, that would have went nice on it. But I think I'm gonna try my hand at painting up some tropical flowers. I don't know what kind of tropical flowers. I thought either hibiscus or Plumeria, which are tropical flowers. Either one, I don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see. Either way. But this is just gonna be like a relaxing day. We're gonna paint, This is the time just to relax and have fun, and if it works, it works. And if not, you can wipe it off. You know what I mean? So that's why we make sure we have a nice smooth epoxy surface. So if we don't like it, you wipe it off. Try something else out, But you guys already know here on my vlog days, whether it works out or not, I'm going to show you guys because it happens. But I do have a tumbler this morning. It's my one from my tutorial on Friday. I'm so happy you guys liked it. Let me get it going. That liquid is just perfect. I absolutely love the consistency of it and how it looks. Everything just flows so nice in there. I see it moving around in there. Perfect flow. I love it. Not too fast, not too slow, just right. But I do have my tumbler from this morning, and I'm ready to wake up, prep these tumblers, and slay all day. Let's do this. All right, it is raining like crazy here. I don't know how, I know there's a couple of you that live here in Northport with me, but it's raining pretty crazy. Hopefully you guys don't hear it. Okay, so I already kind of got started on a piece of paper. I practiced on a piece of paper. I did a hibiscus, and then I did some Plumeria, and I actually decided to go ahead and do the Plumeria. Now I'm showing you the paint colors that I use. I know last week I showed you that I bought that Pastel kit from Michael's. So I'm gonna go ahead and use a pink from out of there, a yellow, and I have a pop of color and the hot pink color that I showed you guys, just kind of add a little bit more depth to my flower petals. So I'm taking a round brush and I'm dipping it into my pink. I'm going to take a little bit of my yellow and kind of dip it in that. And I also take it and dip it into my hot pink as well. And what we're going to do, because Plumeria has 5 petals and they're football shaped. So you want to start with your first petal and you just want to do a football shape. So this is the top petal of our flower. And then what I'm going to do after I paint on that football shape, you just want a perfect point at the top. Just make it a football shape. Pretty simple so far. Then we're going to turn around, do the same thing where we dip it into our colors, and then we are going to do almost like legs coming off of our football and more football shapes. This is the best way that I know how to describe it. So you don't want them directly in the center of that first petal. You want each one kind of off to the side, and then you're going to turn it and you're going to do it. So it's almost like a star shape. You don't want it, you want it like a star shape is pretty much how you want to do it. These football shaped petals in the form of a star almost. So I'm going to flip it again and do one more of those football shapes, just dipping into my colors. And the reason why I dip it into these other colors is because it's going to give it some variation and give it just more dimension after it is dried. But this is pretty much how you would want it to look after you paint it on. It's extremely simple. I promise you guys, that's why I chose this shape or this flower. Now I want to talk to you guys a little bit more about what I did to the base, because I know you're seeing that I got some like hot pink on there. I actually took it outside and I gave it a couple spritzes of my fluorescent pink. I'll put that into the description, just by RustOleum. Just a couple spritzes because I wanted it to be... I wanted it to be like it had almost like a watercolor look to it. I know it kind of sounds weird, but I just felt like the couple spritzes really guided me as to where I wanted to put my flowers. So I did a couple spritzes on the front. I did a couple spritzes on the reverse as well. But of course, you guys don't have to do this. This is just the kind of look that I was going after. Now, when it comes to spacing with the flowers, I already know I want to add a palm leaf look behind it. So it doesn't matter if there's gaps in between it, because I do plan on coming through and I'm going to show you guys how I do kind of a palm leaf look to it. So I'm not too worried about the spacing on it. So I think I do 3 on the front here, and then I'm going to reverse it. I'm going to do 3 more on the back as well. And then I'm also going to do 1 on the bottom. Now, after I got going and I went ahead and did my flowers on the front, I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of that hot pink and start giving it some highlights, because I wanted it to blend in really good with the wet paint before I dry it, because I take it out and I'm going to dry it down really good with my blow dryer, just so that way I can flip it and do the other side. So I'm just going to come through with my darker pink and just kind of put a little bit of shadowing in there for now, but we are going to come back through and shadow it up a little bit more with that darker pink too. And I know you guys can't see it, but I have been doing the yellow and the pink, and you can actually see it, like I can see it in person, but you can't really see it here on camera. So there is a variation of colors when it comes to the yellow and pink, or the light pink, not the dark pink, but you can definitely see it there. So now, after I went ahead and I kind of added a little bit more shadows, I'm going to go ahead and flip it over, and I'm going to start the process on the other side. And actually this time I'm going to add a little bit more pink to my brush, so that way that hot pink is more pronounced in the center. So I'm just taking my light pink, dabbing it into my yellow, and then taking a little bit of that hot pink and just making sure that it's in there as well, and coming through and doing my flowers too. So after I have my petals all painted up, I'm going to come through and kind of mix together my hot pink a little bit more, because my colors are starting to get a little bit muddled. And I actually have a thinner brush at this point, and I'm just going to dab that hot pink right into the center, and I'm just going to take it and extend it out onto one side of the petal. So each flower, one side only, is going to have that pink color on each side. So I'm just going to come through and do that to every single flower as well. You just want to add a highlighted look to each petal. That's pretty much it. Because if you look at pictures of Plumeria on Google or anything like that, they come in a lot of different colors. So this is more abstract. This isn't like an actual color of a Plumeria flower. This is just kind of like a made up version that I made myself. But I knew I wanted it to resemble it as much as I could, but still adding a little bit more of that neon look here and there as I could. So I'm just going to come through, like I said, dabble a little bit of that hot pink color right into the center and highlighting the best that I can on each one of these petals. And then we're going to move on to the next step. Now, after I got everything all highlighted, I'm going to come through with the back end of my brush. So it's just like the end of the brush where it's like rounded. And I'm going to take some orange. This is just like a neon orange from Papa Color. And I'm going to come through and dab right in the center of my flowers again. Just very abstract. This is just, you know, it's a hint of it's a Plumeria with a hint of like abstract to it. So obviously these don't exist, but this is just the aesthetic that I was going for. And I'm just taking the end of that brush and just dabbing that orange all over the place, just giving it just a little bit more of that dimension and look that I was going for. All right, I let that dry for a little bit, and now we're gonna start painting up our palm fronds. So again, right out of that kit, I chose a darker and lighter green that was in that kit. I'll make sure to put it into the description box. And I chose a darker green from Papa Color, which was called Jade. And I'm just going to use those 3 greens to make my palm fronds here. Now, the hardest part with palm fronds, or filling in your green behind your flowers, I was trying to decide where I wanted to do it. So I just kind of took a dry brush and just kind of visualized it and figured out where I wanted to do it first before I picked out my actual paints to paint on there. But I'm using the same exact brush as I used to paint my flower petals with, my round brush. And as you've seen, I dipped into the darker green, and I also dipped into the lighter greens as well. Now the thing with palm fronds is, if you do a Google search, if you're not in an area where you have palm fronds around you, they're all kind of in a straight line. They just kind of cascade down in size. So you want to make sure that they stay straight. You want to make sure that they kind of cascade as they go down. And that's pretty much it. Extremely easy. But you're going to notice the gaps that I made there. I'm just going to fill in with this palm frond look around the flowers as I go. And I'm actually going to come through after I paint these on, and I'm going to take the lighter greens and I'm going to give them more highlights and stuff like that. So here I am just kind of giving it a little bit more highlights here and there. But you just want to make sure that obviously that you stop right at your flower. You don't want to paint over your flower unless you want to. You know, that might be the look you're going for. It kind of has a look going over the flowers, giving it more of a trompe-l'oeil look, you know, which means hyper realistic. I don't know. Yeah, whatever you guys want to do is completely up to you. All right, so after I get my palm fronds on, again, I'm going to come through with my lighter greens and just kind of give it some highlights here and there. Now, I do plan on giving this a coat of epoxy over top of this because I would like to come through and do some highlighting with my acrylic markers, and I don't want to do it over top of this just in case I don't like it. So after I get done, I am going to let this dry completely, and then I am going to give it a coat of epoxy before I do the highlights. So we'll have to do that next week. So before I move on to the opposite side, I'm just going to take that and make sure that I blow it down really good and dry up all that acrylic paint on the one side, so that way I can flip it and start on my palm fronds on the opposite side. And I'm also going to remember to come through and do up the bottom as well. Again, the hardest part is just figuring out where I want the green to go. These ones on the opposite side were a little bit tighter together, so I was able to kind of knit it a little bit tighter together with the look and everything like that. But this is pretty much what I have after I was said and done. Extremely happy with it, very pleased. And after I set it off to the side and let it dry, I decided I wanted to add a little bit more of that spritzing color, like how I did the hot pink underneath. I wanted to add a little bit more of that over the top. And I know you guys are probably like, oh my goodness, what are you doing? But I promise you, it's going to look just fine. Ooh, I tell you guys, this humidity is not good. It is just too hot. I need to get this air conditioner installed in here. I can't. I don't know if I can do too much more of this out here. I've survived years enough working out here without air conditioning. I don't know if I can do it anymore. I'm getting too old for this. All right, so I put it on my turner. I let it spin. It was ready to come off. All right. What do you guys think? I can touch it already. That's fine. What do you guys think? I added a little bit more yellow to it. I don't know. I felt like it just needed it. I felt like it just added to what I was going for with the hot pink underneath, and then the little bursts of the yellow kind of speckled over the top. Some of it's on the leaves. Now, when I was doing my spritzing, some of them did get onto the petals, but if there was any big things of yellow on there, I just wiped it off with my finger. But you know, typically I wouldn't do this stuff until I had another coat of epoxy in case I didn't like it and wipe it off. But I knew I would like it, you know? I just felt like I knew I would like it. And I do. I love it so, so much. So you guys let me know. I still, like I said, I still want to add a couple highlights to the leaves. So I'll take my white acrylic marker and we're going to add some highlights to it. But what kind of quote should I put on it? Should I not put a quote on it? Should I put a quote on it? I know most of you guys are going to be like, you put my name on it. I don't know. Maybe we will do a giveaway with it. I don't know. I'm not sure yet, but I am just so happy with how this turned out. We'll have to see next Sunday how we wrap this up. Just let me know. What do you guys think? What should there's the bottom. The bottom too. Absolutely love how this turned out. I'm just so happy with this. I absolutely love how it turned out. I know you guys can do this. I really do. It is such a simple design, and I know you guys can pull this off. Like I said, just practice it on a piece of paper, okay? Practice on a piece of paper until you feel comfortable with it, and then just try it out. And make sure that when you do go to try it out, that you do it on a super smooth epoxy tumbler, you know, nice and cured epoxy tumbler. And if you don't like it, just wipe it off before it dries, all right? Not a big deal, but I know that you guys can do this. If I can do this, you can do this. I believe in you. Okay, so like I said, we're gonna finish this up next weekend, all right? Give me a quote, all right? Does it need it? Does it not need it? I don't know. Give me a quote, and then we'll finish this up next weekend. I hope that you guys have an amazing rest of your day, an amazing rest of your week, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.